righty. Ba-ba, ba-ba. How is everybody doing tonight? What's going on, Andrew? What's going on, brother? First one in here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Thank you for coming by. Ba-ba-ba, da-da-da. All right, just getting going here. Gotta move this over so we can see our Instagram chat. What's your opinion on the BMW wagon? I guess, are you talking about the M5 wagon? I think that the BMW wagons are hot. I love when BMW makes good wagons because I believe that means that Mercedes-Benz will then make good wagons. So it's a good thing. Hold up. Oh, never mind. False alarm. All right. Oop, 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 oop. Tony, what's going on? How are you? How goes the sales figures? We're having a nice day today. We're nice and busy. So happy about that. Can't complain. James doing well today. How about you, my friend? And nothing beats the W123 wagon. I'd have to agree with you. The Shane train's in the house. How are you, Shane? Good to see you as always, brother. Any updates on the Sealy 63? No. I wish that I did. Trust me. Unfortunately, I'm sure the internet will find out before me. But as soon as I hear anything at all, I will most definitely get the word out. You know that. 100%. Andrew, BMW X3 driver, but may get a Benz next time. What's the closest model to an X3? Andrew, you would be looking at the GLC. That would be the closest competitor. That would be our direct competitor to the X3 if you were ever to consider Mercedes-Benz. And I'm glad that you asked, by the way, James, because interestingly, I find that there is often a lot of confusion when people are cross-shopping between Mercedes-Benz and BMW, which interestingly, but I often will see people that look at an X5 and then they come here and they look at the GLC and I'm like, well, that's not the right competitor. Not the right competitor at all. Tony, good. Thanks. What Mercedes plug-in hybrids have a good amount of around town all electric range? So really all of them do now, Tony. They're all about 50 to 60 miles of all electric range, with the exception of like the C63, GLC 63, and S63. Those are technically plug-ins, but they're not really true plug-in hybrids that are going to get you a lot of range. Thoughts on the GLE 63 with electric motor compared to gas? So the GLE 63 really doesn't have an electric motor. It just has a small, mild hybrid that helps it in starting and stopping situations. Okay, but it's not really like an electric engine. All right, what's going on? I'm live, by the way, just a heads up.
Can you check that out for me?
The Audi?
Yeah. No value impact on the
bad Carfax, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, super low miles for a 2015 Audi A8.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, it's in pretty decent shape. But they just get very expensive to maintain, right? There's no way around that.
Yeah, I put in for 4 new tires, I think. Yeah, 4 new tires. I'm adding in some curb rash right now, actually, because I forgot those.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I think we're good where we are.
Okay.
Let's see what we've got going on in the Carfax here. What happened? Minor damage. That's frustrating. Mm-hmm. All the way back in 2017. I've had it since 2017, though. They bought it gently pre-owned, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Ay. So there's 107 of them for sale in the country, median price of $16,900, but median miles of 92. So we're very good there, 55,000 mile car. Okay. But bad Carfax is frustrating. There is a little bit of damage. I'm a little bit worried about what's going on up on the roof there as well. There's really no way to market that, but I think I'm okay at this number, 12,650. All right. I'll print it for you.
Thanks.
Let's get this bad boy printed. All right, I heard Mercedes is trying to move away from luxury vehicles and focusing more on affordable cars. Is this true? So yeah, I've had that video sent to me about 500 times in the last couple of days. I think that video was, I don't want to call it clickbait, but I think that it was a good attempt at getting people riled up a little bit. What I have heard, and again, this is just, I don't really have any concrete evidence of this, but what I do know and what I anticipate is that Mercedes-Benz wants to focus their energy on more of their core models. Okay, so during COVID and shortly thereafter COVID, obviously Mercedes, like almost every other manufacturer, was going full speed towards electrification by 2030. And they also wanted to focus a lot on what they call like the super high-end models. So AMGs, Maybachs, and the electric vehicles. And I think now that everything has normalized quite a bit, Mercedes realizes that they are better off probably going after their core consumer that they've had for many, many years, people who buy C-classes and E-classes and GLCs and GLEs and GLSs, et cetera. So it's not that they're going away from luxury. I don't know what that whole moving away from luxury thing was. I wouldn't put too much credence in that. I think that they're just not only focusing on G-Wagons and electric cars, right? So that's a good thing, right? As a dealer, obviously, if we're having a renewed focus on the core models, that's wonderful, because the core models are what the majority of people buy, right? G-Wagons are fun and Maybachs are fun and AMGs are fun, but those are much more limited in their appeal because of the price point and just the sheer number of buyers that will consider them. So I would take that video that everybody is watching and sending me with a grain of salt. And Mercedes is not going away from luxury cars. That's not what's happening. They're just focusing more on their core product. That's my takeaway from what I have heard. Is a lease a better option for a post BK? It just depends. It depends. Depending on how far removed away from the bankruptcy you are, RELAM, you may or may not have very many options as far as the lenders that will work with you. With Mercedes-Benz Financial, you do need to be several years removed from the BK before they will consider again. So that would kind of make a lease not possible for this particular brand. Now, some other manufacturers might have different parameters. I really can't speak to that, but you might have to go with kind of a special finance type situation, which would limit you to a purchase. Shawnee, Adam Chamberlain is amazing. He would make the right decision for MB. Shawnee, I agree with you. From my limited experience with Adam before he left the first time around, I thought he was an awesome guy. I'm very excited. I feel like he has been a shot in the arm for the brand and the dealers, and I know I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm extremely excited just as working for a Mercedes-Benz dealer to have him. At the helm of MBUSA, I think that means good things for all of us. Fools Among Us mini pickup trucks. Yeah, so the Honda pickup trucks, those are a lot of fun. Those Honda Acties, like the one that we bought off of Cars and Bids for one of our clients, those are starting to become a lot more available because they're reaching, that mid to late 90s is now importable into the US, right? Because they're more than 25 years old. So I think that if you want something like that, they're readily available between $5,000 and $12,000, depending on the condition and whether they have a dump bed on them, et cetera. So Freeman the Builder changes in the 26 G63 versus the 25. So there's not really many changes other than a couple of new colors and a couple of new packages, but all of the big changes were for 2025. So 25 versus 26, there's just a few different configuration options that you would have for model year 2026. So Parker, good evening. What is a rough idea of transport cost to purchase a car from your dealership and have it delivered to the Southeast Atlanta area? Is there typically negotiating room for delivery or transport fees? No, so Parker, the transport just is what it is, right? That's maybe some dealers out there will mark it up, but we use a service to help us book these. We use SYCN Auto Logistics, right? They're part of the Ship Your Car Now family, and what they will do is go out there and find a truck. So it's pretty predictable. I mean, to get a car down to the Atlanta area, it's probably going to be $800 to $1,000 for open transport, generally speaking. That's just sort of off the top of my head. But again, we ship cars all over the country every day, right? So people that want to do business with us and they care about the experience and getting a great deal and not worrying about whether they're getting ripped off. Could you maybe find it for less money somewhere else? Yeah, I'm sure you can, right? If you've got unlimited time, you'll always find it cheaper somewhere else. But if the experience is good, then people don't necessarily mind to pay to have it shipped in. So Carlos, how much would you guys give me for my 2013 C63? Well, Carlos, reach out. We'd love to put a number on it. We'd love to. Thank you everyone for being here today. If I appreciate it. Again, a little bit of a late live, keep getting bombarded here at the end of the day, but tap the screen if you would, hit the thumbs up button if you would. That helps me out a lot. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And again, I appreciate all of you being here. I really, truly do. Paul, why is it so tough to locate E450 sedans? Yeah, Paul, E-classes and sedans in general are less and less popular with each passing year. Americans especially continue to buy more and more SUVs every year. And so any manufacturer is going to see that and they're going to adjust accordingly. I mean, look at Ford. Other than the Mustang, they eliminated all of their sedans. So they might be doing a little bit of a 180 there. But again, Americans want SUVs. So then you go to the E-Class and now you're talking about the core model, which is an E350, and then kind of a niche model, the E450, right? The bigger engine. So the E-Class already being a sedan, we're going to sell less of those than a GLE. And then you're talking about the upgraded engine. They don't make a ton of them, right? So they make enough to satisfy the demand, but it makes locating ones pretty difficult. Justin, love your content. I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you very much. Shawnee, who do I talk to about the E400? Yeah, so that should hit the web by the end of the night or tomorrow morning. If you can go to the link in my bio and click on the work with Doug Horner and team. And I know that car won't be selectable, but just put in the notes, hey, I'm interested in the E400 that Doug posted. And one of my teammates can start that process with you. That is a super nice car, super clean, like 15,368 miles, like incredibly low miles, really, really nice car. Is it realistic to assume I can get a lease a new S580 with no money down and payments that are 1.5% MSRP? No, not with no money down. The S-Class is not leasing in that range right now. Not from what I'm seeing anyway. I'm sure that if you, let me backtrack. If you were able to find a dealership that has S-Class demos, which is not a very common demo vehicle, then it would be possible, I'm sure. But not a ton of S-Classes out there, right? This is kind of a low production year for S-Classes. JJ, what is the MB comparable model against the Lexus 450? Can you clarify which Lexus 450? Are you talking about a GX 450? In which case that would be like a GLE? Yeah, Shawnee, we published it today, so it'll hit sometime tonight when the inventory refreshes. Thank you for everyone who's hitting the like button. I appreciate that very much. Oh, the RX. Yeah, so the RX is a little bit funny because the RX is bigger than a GLC, but smaller than a GLE. So some people compare it to the GLE, some people compare it to the GLC. So I'd say probably more people compare it to the GLE. Lowest payment you've seen this month on a lease. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of that. I'd have to go back and look. Which is a better deal, GLE 450E or GLS 450? Justin, they're both really great deals right now. Both of them. I mean, the GLE 450 probably dollars and cents going to be a little bit less expensive, but it's also less car, right? But if you want to have kind of that dip your toe in the water EV situation where you've got 50, 60 miles of all electric range and then a gas engine that takes over when you need it, the GLE 450 is a really great option. Errol Dino emailed you about the GLE. All right, very good. We'll take a look for that. D Downs, look at Mercedes-Benz and currently drive a Ford Explorer. What would be an equivalent vehicle? So Ford Explorer, again, would be a GLE competitor. Patrick, we do have one C63 left in stock, C63. Duani, I do see your comment. I saw that comment. I don't know what you asked before. NT, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for stopping by. Madi, no news on the Sealy 63 yet. I'm still optimistic that we will get that car eventually, but a part of me is losing hope and wondering if that is in the plans for Mercedes-Benz in the future, because when I look at the future models that are planned in the next couple of years, there's zero information about that car being included. So I really hope that that'll be a surprise announcement at some point. I think that car would do extremely well, but as of now, no official word. Although we have seen test, spy shots of the car. So if I ever need epoxy floors, let me know. All right, I appreciate that, brother. What's a good monthly payment for a C43 lease? No money down. Under 1,000. 580 score, any hope? Look, it's possible. It just depends on what your credit history is. What's making it a 580 score, right? There are different factors of your credit. When you're talking about buying cars, comparable auto history and the way you've paid your car loans in the past is going to be the biggest determining factor. Daniel, thank you for the heart. I appreciate you, brother. $0 lease deals are the way to go. Yeah, I mean, look, you don't need to put any money down on a lease. I do recommend at least making your first payment, because with a lease, you pay a month ahead and not a month after. So I don't know that there's any reason to finance your first payment, but yeah, above and beyond that, you don't really need to put anything down. Curtis, what's the GLC 300 Coupe used market like, selling above or below? GLC 300 Coupes historically have held their value very well. Our Coupe SUVs hold their value very well. Euphoria, what's going on, brother? How are you? Good. It has been a little while. Hope you're well. I know the last time that we spoke, you were super, super busy. I hope that is still the case. Thoughts on paint protection film on luxury cars? I think that on most luxury cars, it definitely makes sense to have, right? So sports cars, especially AMGs, M cars, Porsches, having that on there is a no-brainer, right? There's nothing worse than getting the front of your car all chipped up and damaged and nicked from rock chips, debris, etc. So on luxury cars, paint protection film is very popular for good reason. Let's see, Tyler. So if I have 100% auto payment history, but late on credit cards, doesn't matter. So it definitely can play a role. If you're late on any obligations at all, that can definitely have an effect, no doubt. They might overlook it because of perfect payment history on autos, but again, it's just so situational. But you want to do everything you possibly can never to be late on any payments for any loans, and that includes credit cards. The yellow coupe the other day was amazing. Yes, beautiful, beautiful car. Just got here. What is a good MB SUV for replacement for my E300? Paul, if you like that size and level of luxury, then I would look at a GLE 350. Time to swap out the wife's Suburban for something smaller. What's the best MB option around 75K? So OG depends on how much smaller you want to go. You could go with a GLS pre-owned, or you could get a really nice GLE brand new in that price range. No, VG AAA incentive is back. It went down for about a week or so. There was a problem with the internal code generating system, but it's back. James, I'm sorry to hear about that, brother. I hope that you're doing better. Yeah, I know sometimes if you work too hard, it can definitely have a negative impact. So I hope you're feeling better. So new Mercedes cars don't get shipped in covered trailers. Some do, some don't, Atlanta. Some do, some don't. Nelson, any special considerations for a car with PPF as compared to ceramic coating? Yeah, again, it depends on the car. Really depends on the car. Certain cars, if they've been PPF'd already, that definitely can help increase your trade value for sure. 723, good enough credit score. 723 is a great credit score. Absolutely. Let's flip some whips. How long? So I'm not the GM, I'm the GSM. I do appreciate the promotion that I tend to get on social media all the time, but I am a GSM. It took me about, how long did it take? To get to GSM, it took me about 8 years. It took me longer than it should have, but it took me about 5 years to become a sales manager. Let's see, Ingress, I saw the patent filing MB did with the flat plane crank V8. The plan, hot V-cross bank exhausting, which will give traditional V8 sound out of a flat plane. Yeah, so we know that they're working on a new V8. We know that it's going to be flat plane. That's about as much as we know right now. Obviously, it sounds like you've got it. Maybe you dug into the patent a little bit, But the fact that Mercedes is working on an entirely new V8 is very exciting for all Mercedes-Benz and AMG fans. So we're thrilled about that. And again, we don't know exactly what the details are going to be, but I'm pumped, right? I think that what you're seeing right now is manufacturers, Mercedes, Stellantis, so many different manufacturers are really doing a 180 kind of on their strategy of going electric by 2030 and getting rid of these bigger V8 engines. Part of that is the USA relaxing their standards on emissions and fuel economy, right? So what everyone forgets a lot of the time is that this is not necessarily decisions that were made because, hey, that's what we think that people want. No, there's a lot of money that are tied to these decisions as far as fines for emissions and fuel economy, et cetera. So that's why a lot of these engines kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But it sounds like we're going to have V8s for many, many more years, which is great. Corey, do I have a yellow tie to match the yellow coupe? I do. I've got a couple of yellow ties now, actually. Manuvel, good evening, Doug. Love your videos. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you saying that. Thanks for stopping by. Stan, why does Doug look like he's 29 and 59 at the same time? I kind of do, don't I? Right? I get that. Some days I look young, some days I look old, I guess. 300 coupes specifically. 300 coupes, I missed the first part. Oh, any hybrids coming for the GLC 300? No hybrid that I know of coming for the GLC coupe, right? We do have GLC 350s for the regular SUV. Don't know if we will ever get one for the coupe. They're very low production models comparatively, so I don't know that it makes sense for Mercedes-Benz to develop that car, but we'll see. What else is going on? What else? Quit deleting comments. I'm not deleting comments. Is the Ford Bronco a good value? I think that the Ford Broncos have fallen on hard times a little bit, but they were really, really hot when they came out. I can't say very much anymore. On your post you are. What are you talking about? Are any GLE 53 coupes getting the hyper screens? GLE coupes, probably not going to get hyper screens, but we are getting the refresh for the GLE and the GLS next year, and I anticipate that they will get the super screen like you see in the E-Class now. So similar to a hyper screen, but instead of running all the way from the passenger side to the driver's side in one flat piece of glass, you basically go from the middle of the car to the passenger, and then you have an upright driver display. So, Ronnie, what area sells the most? Are you talking about area as far as like part of the country? That would probably be California. How much in gross sales did you guys do last month? Great question. I don't have that answer in front of me. Michael, thanks for the UVI videos. Michael, are you a fan of UVI? That is one of the coolest products I've ever been around before. Is there a Merc wagon that rivals Audi RS6 wagon? Yeah, the E63 wagon. We don't have one right now. Oh, you work for them. Awesome. We don't have the E63 wagon right now. We do have the E53 wagon that's about to launch anytime, and we're very, very excited for that because it's going to make similar power to the old E63. Paul, if performance is not a priority, is a GLE 53 a better choice over a GLE 450? Yeah, the GLE 450, I would actually say, is probably the worst resale of the GLEs. 350s are best, 53s would be after that, and then 450s. Euphoria, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. What would you pay for your staff to do Russ Flips Whips training? Well, I wouldn't really see the benefit to doing that because they see the benefits of doing it from me every day. Unfortunately, I think they are a little bit happy with the fact that people reach out to the store because of the videos that I make, so they don't really feel compelled to do it themselves. But I mean, I'll tell you this. I know Russ, he is a smart guy, and I know his training is very well thought out, and there's a lot of value there. So I'm not surprised that dealers are paying to have him come and talk to them. What do you think about the 2018 W205 AMG 63s, C63s? Kalel, one of my favorite cars of all time. Massive, massive value in those C63s. When we had them, I told everybody that I thought that was the absolute most car for the money that you could buy anywhere, period, end of story. Just a lot of fun cars. Euphoria, thank you. Jinx, what's the matter? What is the disappointment there? Just, do you ship outside of the USA? Oh, no. I mean, we could, no, I don't have contacts to do that, unfortunately. So do you think at some point EVs will have a 400 to 450 range all electric? No, I think those days are over. So what you have to understand is that now that the subsidies are going away on EVs, they will still be very much a part of the manufacturing process. They'll still be a part of the strategy for manufacturers. However, they are going to significantly roll back production on them. And when you've got lower production, you've got lower supply and less need to incentivize. So I think that they will be available for the people who truly want them, but they're not going to be incentivized like they are these days. So I don't see now that there could be in the future much less expensive EVs that become available as economies of scale improve and as battery technology becomes less expensive. And then maybe down the road that could be a possibility with certain brands. But in the near future, I don't see payments in that range. So Zacharias, this is a good question to end on because I do need to wrap it up. But how would you pitch a Mercedes to someone looking to switch from Audi or BMW? So what I tell everybody is that these are all fantastic cars, right? Any German luxury car, I believe, is a fantastic machine, and I would never pitch you on one over the other. It really comes down to personal preference, right? What styling do you like? What technology do you like? Do you like the feel of the car, the way it drives? If you are more luxury focused and tech focused, you are likely going to enjoy the Mercedes-Benz. But again, there's no right or wrong answer here. They're all really fantastic cars. And I just tell people that if you've driven Audi for many, many years, if you've driven BMW for many, many years, why not change it up, give it a try? But they're all great choices. They truly are. So what I'll say is that what I love about Mercedes-Benz is that they have a history of innovation and a history of safety and just amazing advances in technology and refinement of cars. So I think that they've got a history and heritage that is more unique and cool than any other car maker out there. And I also think they have the most incredible lineup, right? They've literally got something for everybody, from sports cars to SUVs to super luxury sedans, and a lot of the stuff that we don't even get here in the States overseas, Unimogs, vans. I mean, it's just such a cool brand. It really, really is. And I think when people think of when the pinnacle of a luxury car, they think of Mercedes. So that's pretty cool. BMW tends to be a little bit sportier. Audi kind of maybe somewhere in between. But I'm never going to pitch anybody on why you need a Mercedes, because nobody needs one. Nobody needs a BMW. Nobody needs an Audi. But I think that everybody that gives it a try generally is going to be pretty happy about the decision. So thank you everyone for being here. I do need to wrap it up, do need to get going. We have a couple people here in the showroom that are just finishing up, and I want to be able to say goodbye to them. But thank you again. If you're just tuning in for the first time, please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff so that we can see each other again down the road. But hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. Talk to you soon.